Hey. Okay, guys, how you doing? This is Lucayan Bulls TV, and we are here with Mr. George Luna, the WBA Director of Judges. We've been trying to line this one up for a while, but finally we're able to get it done, and we are going to dive right in. Um, so George, can
How
you
you
tell
doing?
us?
How
Oh,
you doing,
oh,
my brother?
no, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just glad to finally meet you in person as well. I mean, not in person, but you know,
No, I get you.
yeah.
Well, it's nice for you to have me on your show, and I hope I can answer as much to give you as much info as I can.
Okay, I like that shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I owe you one. I know you sent me the address in Oklahoma, so as soon as I
Uh,
have some shirts, I will send you some.
no, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So tell us, what does the American bully mean to you and how has it impacted you?
The American Bully, to me, it's the breed of choice. It's the breed that we've always had. We started with the Pit Bull Terrier, we moved on to the American Staffordshire Terrier, and the American Bully. Over the years, the dog has evolved and it's grown. But I just like all the traits that it has, the love and affection it has for humans, and just a dog in general. I love the build. I like the look. I like the attitude. That to me, they're the perfect dogs. I
Yeah, I
really
couldn't. I would have to agree with all of those points. I think anybody who is an avid American bully fan would have to agree for all of those reasons that you definitely listed. I don't. Out of all the dogs I've ever owned, I don't think there's a better dog, that has that complete package with everything that you just named.
Yeah, they're lovable pets. They're great family members. They really try to please their owners, and mine are clowns. Mine like to mess around, and they got different personalities, and I love that about them. I love that they all get along. They're all very people friendly, and temperament has always been a thing that's important to us in this breed because it we can't allow the dogs to not have good temperament. Our breeds get a bad rep as it is, but fortunately for us, most of our dogs are well mannered, well tempered, and and for the most part, I see that in most of the shows. I do encounter sometimes when I see some dogs with a little shaky temperament. But
Mhm.
sometimes they're just new to the shows and they got to get used to it. But other than that, they're great animals, they're great dogs, and I really do love this breed.
Okay, I think you said you bred American bullies, American Staffordshire Terriers, and Pit Bull Terriers
Yes,
before. Okay,
yes, I have.
so which one did you start with, and which strains did you use?
You know,
More
I
specifically.
I started with the American Pit Bull Terrier because at the time that's the only dogs that were around. There was Amstaffs, but the American Pit Bull Terrier had something that I like. It had a drive, it had a passion for energy and for endurance, and it made a great animal. But that's where I started. I started with Pit Bull Terriers. I started mainly with Colby, bloodlines. They were diluted and stuff, but they came from that. It was red noses originally.
Mm,
I really like those dogs. I like the game, the fire that they had at the time. At that time, we liked the dogs that had the aggressiveness in them, but it was to a point. I like them to have fire. I like them to have spunk. I like that to be in them. But I can't have savages, so dogs like that
yeah.
we definitely have. But I definitely encourage people to, allow the dogs to be themselves, and find out if the dog is suitable for the family. And if you feel that the dog might be questionable, there's no it's not worth taking a chance. This dog is supposed to have this breed has to have a great temperament. It's got to love humans, and it's got to be able to get along with other family pets.
Yeah. So, so tell me about your arm stops.
The Amsterdams, I started with the Gaff bloodlines. Pam Carter is the breeder of the Gaff kennels, and I started with dogs from her bloodline. They had beautiful heads. They were nice and chiseled. They were nice and muscular. They had perfect eyes, the perfect stops, the perfect muzzles. They have elegant bodies, beautiful silhouettes. They have that line and the Sierra line kind of changed the Amstaff a little bit here in the West Coast because it had a little bit more bone, more substance, more head, uh, more breed type, and that we like. I like the size and the substance, And that's where a lot of the bullies really started back in the days, because these Amsterdams couldn't compete in the UKC because they were too big for the standard. They had too much head, they had too much bone, they had too much size.
Mm.
So there was no place for them there. But Pam Carter started breeding these dogs. Lorraine Wilson from Sierra Kennels, and other breeders, that like those traits and those looks of the dogs. And that's where the bully started originally. We started breeding those type of dogs into dogs that, were similar in body type and body mass. And, throughout the years, when people developed the look that they liked, they were a little too big for the shows, so they didn't do very well with the show rings, but they look beautiful, and evidence is today in the American Bully. You see the head, you see the size, you see the bone. Unfortunately, you do see a lot of bad faults that we didn't see back in the days. We had dogs back in the days that if you went to a dog show, you would see a little bit of faults here and there, like Easty Westy, might have maybe bad tail carriage, but you wouldn't see dogs that had bad top lines, that had underbites like we do today. The breed has really changed, and unfortunately, people, they want to hold on to the look and the size and the head and are willing to sacrifice other parts of the dog that they shouldn't, because it's really hard to breed a complete dog. It's not all
Oh,
about
yeah.
size and head. You got to have good conformation, good structure, good top lines, good bites, good eye sets, good temperaments, things that got to be passed on, through for the future breeders and the future dogs that we have. Because I'm telling you, I've seen some shaky dogs in the ring. Where in the AKC or UKC they would just walk you right back outside, because then it's not supposed to be in their nature to be aggressive towards human beings. And unfortunately, some of the American bullies, even though we know that they're people friendly and everybody loves them and everything, they can be tricky, So we got to be careful as breeders that not only
Mhm.
are we selecting for conformation, the look and everything, the type, we also got to be, selecting for health and temperament. Very important for the survival of this breed because, like I said, we get a bad rap. Look at the XL in Europe that it's
Uh,
facing today, and
yeah.
we don't need that kind of publicity. We don't need that type of dog. So it's our jobs to preserve the breed and to make sure that, along with our thoughts in the breedings, that we're including temperament. Because
Uh-huh.
that's can't let go of that, bro. That's very
Yeah.
important.
I agree too. I agree with that. So tell us, when you started with the American Bullies, what strains did you use? And I know that you're still breeding today by following your page on Instagram, and I see some of your arm staffs in the American Bullies. So for all those people that are watching that don't know who he is, or if you've seen his kennel, um, I guess you can see on Facebook or Instagram, and you can type in George Luna and find him. But tell us what strains you use and why you started out with those specific strains and where you are today with the American Bully in your program.
Well, a lot of the bullies that I have trace back to the Gap and Sierra line. So I'm pretty selective with the dogs that I'm looking at. I don't look at the first three generations in a pedigree. I try to look a little bit further than that. In the sixth and seventh generation, I want to know what's there because most of I've been around for over 30 years, so I've seen a lot of dogs in the pedigrees. You might
Mhm.
go to the seventh generation. I've probably seen some of these dogs, or I've handled some of these dogs, so I know the look. I'm very selective in the dogs that I like. So I pretty much stuck to people that kept breeding the same line. One of them was Oscar Gomez. Some of those bloodlines go back to the 80s, and some of his lines go into Sierra and Gaps, way in that way in the back. So I know that he's one of those breeders that has preserved the look, the style of dog, and it's evident because you can see it in his dogs today. They're not only big and beautiful, they've got great conformation. They got great top lines. He has beautiful dogs. I mean, this man, through trial and error, because he's made his mistakes. Don't get me wrong, and no one's perfect in this,
Mhm.
but he's been able to maintain the look through a lot of breedings and sacrifices, a lot of hard work. He's
Mhm.
maintained the breed without sacrificing his form and structure, and without sacrificing temperament in the dogs. Like I said, we're very selective. Right now, I happen to be using a little bit of Marco Suarez's dog. I got a dog that's 90% of his bloodline, and I'm trying to
Mhm.
incorporate that into some of Oscar's bloodline. So I'm
Okay.
hoping to pick a little gem out of that, of Marco Suarez's
Mhm.
blood. That blood has stood the test of time, and to
Yeah.
this day, the dogs out there. He's got great dogs, great breeders.
Mhm.
Very thoughtful breeders in the sense that they select dogs based on temperament, based on health, based on conformation, and they put that together, and these men, they put things together and it's magical. Marcus Suarez, Oscar Gomez, and I'm using some of Jose Dados from Spain, some of his blood in my bullies. And I'm incorporating that into, like I said, the Sierra and Gap look. So, you never know, but we're trying to line breed. We're trying to create and maintain a certain line. We're just adding a little bit of more pocket line. I'm bringing in the Paco line, and try to, they had beautiful heads, beautiful structures. They were nice, stocky dogs, and we're trying to add a little bit more size, a little bit more girth to them by introducing the Sierra and Gaff old bloodlines, which are still in effect, which are still in Oscar Gomez's house, and some of the dogs that he has, and some of the that he has stored in frozen semen.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
what we're headed right now. But we're also, we're breeding a lot of Amsterdams right now. I just happen to have two litters. It took me 2 years, but I found a male that was suitable and it's had everything that I needed. And he was in Costa Rica. So I flew him in last year, him and his handler. And we happened to get two beautiful litters. So we're hoping that these Amsterdams turn out to be pretty good. You know, uh, um, it's still one of my favorite breeds, if not probably my favorite, even over the American Bully in time, because I've been breeding for a long time. It's a dog that's beautiful in conformation and temperament. With Amstaffs, you really can't go wrong. They got beautiful structure, good tight fronts, tight lips, tight skin, good bites. We never had issue with bites. I see a lot of issues in those of the American Bully. I see a lot of loose skin, a lot of
Hmm.
loose all over the body. A lot of loose
Oh,
lips.
yeah.
And that's because they introduced the bulldog into it. The influence of the bulldog really came in, added some size, added some head and birth, but it also brought some bad things. It brought bad top lines, no angulation, bad bites, a
Uh,
lot of loose skin. It brought eye problems and it brought breathing problems. So
hmm.
some people used it to bring in size, but at the end, I don't think it was worth it because it brought so many health problems to the breed. And the dogs that we select have no bulldog in them. We're very selective and make sure that the dogs that we have come from the old bloodlines that have not been tainted with bulldog or Staffordshire Bull Terrier or any other breed because those were used to bring the size up in the bullies. And the dogs that we have might not be as big and as muscular and big old heads like people like, but what you're going to get with us is you're going to get good straight fronts, good top lines, good necks, good bites, good eye sets, something that consistently comes out of the pups because in American Bullies, I mean, we have a lot of dogs that are horrific in the fronts, and I think it's because people add too much weight at a very young age. We ruin our dogs sometimes because we want them bigger and we want it now. We want it faster. So we started adding a lot of food, a lot of nutrients at the wrong times. And when the dogs are growing and we're adding all this, we sometimes cause the structure of the dog to change. And I've ruined a couple of dogs. I'm guilty of it myself.
Hmm.
I wanted to grow. I wanted to do this and that, and I myself ruined this beautiful dog. And that's how you learn. It's through trial and
Yeah.
error.
Yeah. Trial
People
and
that
error
try
with, yeah. Definitely, I was going to say with breeding because they make it seem, forgive my son, I think he wanted to listen to the interview. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I know breeding is definitely something that is not as easy as people make it seem. The
Oh,
results are usually not as consistent as they make it seem. You know,
it's very hard to breed. For
mhm,
myself, I try to breed maybe every 2 years when I start needing a new dog or I see a new line that I want to introduce or something. So I really try not to breed that much because I don't need that many dogs. I'm not in the business of selling dogs.
mhm,
I'm in the business of trying to preserve and try to maintain the original bloodlines nice and clean and still with good
yeah,
conformation. So most of the stress that I have, it's not selecting. Well, it is selecting the right male because to me, it's important that a dog has proper structure, that the form and function is all there, the temperament's all there. So we look for all complete rounded dog, and we also keep. We want dogs that are smart. I don't want dogs that are dumb because even
mhm,
like human beings, we got smart dogs, we got dumb dogs, and then we got very, very smart dogs. So
mhm,
we try to breed for brains and conformation and but we also have health in the background. We want to make sure that, like I myself, we X-ray the hips, the elbows, the patella, the heart, the eyes. We check for attacks. We do the DNA profile. We do a lot of testing on our dogs to make sure that we know that we have peace of mind knowing that the dogs that we're breeding are not only beautiful and are good in the show ring, but are also guaranteed and certified healthy dogs. You want to make sure that if you're going to sell a dog for a lot of money, make sure that you're selling good dogs. If you're going to breed, try to breed the better the breed and make sure that you're doing positive things like mentoring your customers, making sure that they do health testing, making sure that our dogs we breed are healthy and that are going to be able to last the test of time. A
Yeah,
lot of people don't put that much effort into it because I know it's expensive,
it
but
is.
I don't just want good correct dogs. I want good healthy dogs,
Oh
and
yeah,
and, and that's hard. So
yeah,
for us, breeding is pretty hard. A lot of people think that just get the biggest dog with the biggest head and breed it to the other one. And you're gonna have beautiful heads. You're gonna have big dogs, but try to put a dog that's gonna. I come from the school where they taught us that you build a dog from the feet up. You make sure that you have good feet, that the foundation under this dog is solid and firm. It's like a house. You need a good solid foundation for it to be able to stand the test of time. And the dogs are the same way. We select dogs, like I said, I'm not going to sacrifice a top line to get a big hit, or I'm not going to sacrifice
yeah.
angulation to gain any bloodline. I'm not going to do any of that.
I agree with you
Sometimes
there.
sometimes the wrong dogs are the most famous dogs because everybody's in the trend that they like the dog, but you got to understand is it going to match up in the bloodlines? Is it has the dog been properly bred? Is it line bred enough where that consistently is going to throw its look?
Hmm.
You get a lot of dogs that are scatterbred these days and do good. Sometimes we breed dogs and we hit the jackpot. We hit the one,
Yeah.
boom, all the winning. But show me his brothers and sisters. You're not going to
Hmm.
see those maybe because they didn't come out as good. So when we breed, if we don't have at least 70% of our litter to be show quality, we consider it a failure because we put a
Mm.
lot of emphasis into that and we make sure that the dogs we select have all that. So if we don't hit that goal, that target, then we did a mistake. So we evaluate, and I evaluate my yard every year. Every year I go through. I'm like an NFL roster here. You gotta make the cut. You gotta make the cut. You gotta bring something to the table that the other dog is not bringing. I got dogs that are beautiful and gorgeous, and I find holes for them and I move it along because something better is coming down that's going to
Mm.
help the
Yeah.
kennel, the line we're trying to produce. And
How many dogs do you have?
right now I have 10 dogs,
Like
nine and a half.
that's combined with American Bullies and Amstaffs?
Amstabs, I have four Amstabs, six bullies, all
Okay.
females. I got some Westway bloodline females. I don't know if you know my brother Gabriel Benitez from Westway Bloodlines, but this man
I've heard the name before.
consistently for 30 years, this man just throws out quality, beautiful females, just as big as any male, just as correct as many show dogs. Just the shows weren't his thing. But just because the shows are not important to him, the quality of dogs, the emphasis and the thoughts that he puts into breeding these dogs and putting them together to consistently throw out these females that continuously through generation continue to throw beautiful females. It just he puts a lot of work, a lot of emphasis. It's a man that studies bloodlines. Like I said, we don't just look at the heads and the size and the popularity of the dog. We're looking at bloodlines. Are they going to match up? Do we have something in the background that's going to bring it together? We
Hmm.
learned that you just can't go through trends. I tell everybody, if you have a nice female, and because that's the success of any kennel is having great females. The
Yeah.
best male is going to be the best male wherever he's at. Who cares?
Hmm.
The hardest thing to do is get great females. I
Females.
tell people get as many great females as you can, like a Saudi prince with a harem of females. You need a stock of females that you can then go ahead and play around and start creating stuff. Uh, a lot of people just tend to use their male because it's in their yard. It's cheap,
Hmm.
it's affordable. They don't have to pay $4,000 to $5,000. They don't got to fly semen here and there, so they settle for their dogs that are at the home. But is it the best dog? Sometimes out of convenience you'll do it, and you'll regret it in the long run because of the quality of dogs you might get are not what you're aiming for. But I tell people don't close off all your thoughts and stuff. I go, there's good dogs everywhere. There's good dogs in Colombia, in Mexico, in Spain. You just got to be open minded and think, what, there's more than just one registry. Just
Hmm.
one piece of paper from any registry does not mean it's better quality than any other dog. It's just
Hmm.
a paper. It's
Yeah.
just a paper, because so many breeders are in the like let's just say the ABKC. There is so many breeders in the ABKC. Does that mean that all those dogs are good? No, because there's good breeders and then there's just breeders, and there's just people are breeding just because they want to breed and have puppies and stuff. But the paper doesn't mean nothing, you know.
Hmm.
It's the breeders that are behind the dogs are important, and that's what you gotta base yourself on. If a dog has papers from a different country, well, oh wow, then I'm gonna join that country's registry and I'm gonna breed to that male. You know, I'm gonna introduce the best available male that I can, even if it's not known or you've never seen him. I don't care. I know what quality is. If I find
Hmm.
that male, I'm gonna use it. I don't care about people liking my dogs or popularity. I know that the dogs that I select are going to pass the test that we have. You know, we look for temperament, we look for brains, we look for confirmation. As long as it has all that, and you stay within the standard and you read through that, you're bound to find success eventually, you know. So we're always in the ballpark, you know. We make conscientious decisions, even myself. I mean, if I have a plan, I want to breach something, I talk to my circle, you know. There's about five, six of us that we talk all the time, and you know, and nobody, you know, is successful without the help of other people. You know,
Hmm.
that whoever tells you they didn't have by themselves, they just lying.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree.
I got great people in my corner. The people that are in my corner, you know, they might not be the best handlers or the best this or best that, but they all bring something to the table. When
They
you put
will.
that many people with great brains, you know,
Hmm.
and intentions, and they want to preserve and promote and keep the breed that we love so much, you know, going through for more years. That type of knowledge is invaluable, you know, and I use everything they tell me, and you know, I apply it to my decisions, and vice versa. They do the same thing. So it's great to have good people in your corner, you know, and be able to say that, you know what, yeah, my brother helped me with this or helped me with that. I'm not proud of it, you know. If I've been successful, it's because other people have helped me,
Yeah.
and I'm proud to say and give recognition because it takes time. It takes a lot of failures to get to a certain point, you know. And when you do get there, it's because you were able to leave your pride aside and you started talking and taking and you know just absorbing all the knowledge you can from all these great people. I've been fortunate to be around for over 30 years. I've met a lot of great people that are still in this breed, you know.
Uh-huh.
I consider myself very fortunate.
Okay. Um, you definitely touched on a lot that I agree with, and I'm assuming for everyone here that even when we talked about breeding and consistency, that the you will get more consistent results from the arm staff than the American Bully because it's probably been established for so long, the breed itself.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
tell
But you
us
know what?
about.
Even the bullies, you know, there's a lot of bullies out there that we're all working. Well, a lot of people here are working for the same stock because they're not willing to go to other countries and use dogs from other countries, other registries and stuff. The gene pool is small here, even though there's a lot of dogs
Mhm.
here. It's a small gene pool because everybody's
Yeah.
diving into the same thing. Everybody's breeding to the same dogs that have the
Oh,
same dogs that have the same problems. And
yep.
the thing is, when you make a mistake, you got to recognize and say, you know what, when I use that bloodline, it didn't match with mine. So you got to be able to say, you know what, I got to stay away from this bloodline. And you know, you got to fail before you succeed. So
Yeah.
people, you can't be afraid to make mistakes. You're gonna make
Thanks.
mistakes,
I
and that
agree.
you're not gonna get away from that. But that's the only way you're gonna learn, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, surround yourself with good people, people that have been in this breed for a while, people that are
Uh-huh.
that have good intentions, and people that are respected by other people. You know, I
Mhm.
these people that I hang out with, like Oscar Gomez, Gabriel Benitez, Aldo Dizon, all my good friends, they've been around for over 30 years. And people love them wherever they go because they're people of honesty, they're people of character, they're people that really love this breed and have done it for so many years. And we have not strayed away from our breeding techniques. You know, we try to breed the best dog to the best dog. And
Mhm.
even when we judge our shows, you know, the best dog has to win. Whether it's your type of dog or not, you got to be able to recognize that the best dog is
Most
the
do.
best dog. It doesn't have to be the biggest dog.
So yeah.
You know, the dog has to have type. It's got to have structure. It's got to have everything. You know,
Mhm.
type is not everything. Because I
Yeah.
can show you a lot of dogs that have a lot of type, and then we look at their top lines, and then let's look at their feet. Let's look at their fronts. Let's look at their
Mhm.
bites. A lot of these dogs have horrendous underbites, you know, and they shouldn't be because that was not a problem that we had back in the day until you know they started introducing the bulldog into the breed,
Mhm.
and then it spiraled out of control. So a lot of people believe that. these dogs with bad bites should be bred or should be, it shouldn't be a problem. They got to recognize that their breeder should be able to tell them, and judges should be able to tell you know what, you got a bad bite. And the WBA, we recognize faults for what they are.
Hmm.
We want a scissor bite and we want a flush. We all set the flush bite. But a dog that is slightly undershot, it's still undershot. It's still a fault. And we're going to
Hmm.
recognize it as a fault. It's not a disqualifying fault, but it's a fault, and we're going to call it as it is. Because you won't change the bites if you don't correct the people. If you
Yeah,
award dogs that have bad bites, people think it's okay to breed
it's
this.
okay. Yeah.
And it's not. We have it's a head and jaw breed, and we need to preserve it. We need to make I count teeth. We're supposed to have 42 teeth. A lot of dogs are missing a lot of teeth. A
Hmm.
lot of dogs. I mean, when you look at some of these underbites, it's more than a half an inch. It's horrific,
Yeah.
and it be that way. I see a lot of right mouths too. So when you see a dog and you see him and his tongue's always sticking out, or his tongue isn't, it's just abnormally long. It's because they have a right mouth. Their mouths don't shut enough completely that the tongue sticks out, and with time the tongue just keeps sticking out. People
Uh-huh.
don't reckon, oh no, he just has a long tongue. Oh no, he just keeps his tongue out. No, it's a bad bite, and you gotta recognize it. And judges just have to be able to call them out at the shows. But if you award
Hmm.
these dogs with bad bites, people will assume that these dogs are okay, and it shouldn't be that way because you're going to ruin it. Then they'll try to go to compete at the WBA, and they won't get ahead, and they'll say, "Why am I not winning the WBA?" Well, first of all, you got bad top line and you got bad bites, and here at the WBA, the best dog must win. That's our judges. That's all they know. We don't tell them this is the look. This is the type of dog that Oscar like. No, none of that stuff. We tell you to pick the very best dog, and we watch our judges. So if there's a judge that's not picking the best dogs and it's hurting our reputation, because we're trying to grow this registry to one that is based on ethics and principles, and we got to make sure that what we do is give the people a good show, and a good
Hmm.
judging panel. We got to make sure that we're judging it correctly, so to promote and preserve this breed. Because if you allow all these faults, you just tell the people keep breeding these dogs. These faults are not going to go away. People say
Uh-huh.
that losing breed type. We're not losing breed type. We just need to breed better. People just need
Yeah.
to fix these faults and say, okay, I got to stick away from these dogs because I need a dog that has angulation. I'm going to find a dog that has an abnormal angulation or a whole bunch of angulation. You need to find dogs that are going to help your litter. I
Yeah.
come from the school of thought that 65% of everything comes from the female when it comes time to breeding. A male's are the complement, and you got to find out the things he needs to
Mm.
bring in. You know, and so we just don't encourage people to keep breeding these dogs. We're going to call them for what it is. It's false. A lot of dogs that come from the ABKC and compete with us, a lot of them win because the ABKC has very nice dogs too. I'm not going to
Mhm.
stand here just because I'm from a different registry and tell you that they don't have good dogs. They have good
Mhm.
dogs, and they have great people, exhibitors that go to the shows. I'm friends with a lot of those people. But
Yeah.
some of those dogs are to WBA, then they find themselves, I can't even get out of the class. I became a champion real quick at the ABKC, but over here is because we're looking at faults. The
Yeah.
purpose of is to find and evaluate so that we have the proper breeding stock to continue, preserving this breed. So only
Okay.
the best dogs should be champions. Just
Yeah.
can't champion a dog.
Okay. We got 10 minutes left. But I wanted to say, with like you said with the WBA, mentioning the WBA, realize that you guys pick really good dogs, based off of what I've seen from your Instagram page. And anybody that doesn't know, you can go on WBA on the Instagram page and see the kind of dogs that they've been picking that they've been awarding for champion and grand champion titles. But with that being said, with the WBA, with the time we have left, can you tell us about your journey with the WBA and, in particular, your goal as the director of judges and the vision of the WBA?
Well, our vision is to be the registry that stands for principles, for ethics, for the American bully. We want to make sure that we follow the steps of the older registries, the AKC, the UKC, who stick to the guns, and confirmation is everything. We make sure that the dogs that we pick are within our standard, and the standard hasn't changed. We don't change our standard. We make sure that the dogs have to fit a certain standard. They have to be correct. They have to have the proper virtues to become champions. Our vision is to teach and educate, get more people to do health testing to make sure that we're free of hyperplasia, so that the people don't use these dogs because they don't realize it. They just think, oh, he tore his ACL, he messed up his ankle. I mean, no, it's X-ray our dogs. We're trying to get a clinic to go to our show, right? And in this clinic, they're going to offer us like 50% for our members. And that's just one way to start encouraging people to do health testing, like OFA hips, elbows, patellas, hearts. There's a lot of heart problems in this breed. We want to make sure that we're one of the registries that pushes for health testing. And we also recognize that because when you become a champion for the W.B.A, and then you become you show to us that you've done over 3 health testings and they're from the OFA, the Orthopedic Foundation of America. We also give you a different distinction in the new paperwork, a champion, and this also says that you're clear of these diseases and stuff. And then, it's a sense of pride, and it's a sense that as a breeder and that you're selling quality dogs, and that you're doing your job to preserve this breed. We want to continue this breed, and we want to be in the forefront of all that. We want to make sure that the judges that we get are educated in over 20 breeds. We want judges that come from different countries that are. I honestly prefer judges that are not bully breeders, because a lot of bully breeders have a type of prejudice to some of the dogs that they like. It's hard for people to pick something when you're so used to liking certain things, and they sometimes they kind of go with that. So we try to get judges that are from other breeds but have experience with our breed in particular, but judges that have a big background and with other registries. So we don't hire young people. We try to hire people that have years of experience, that are known throughout the dog community, and just people that put structure, confirmation, and honor in the shows and the job to do for us. We want to make sure that the judges we have are the best, that people feel comfortable that when they come to our show, they are being judged correctly and honestly. And there's politics here. The best dog will always win at the WBA, and I'm proud to say that most of the time we have different winners for best of shows, for best of breeds. It's always someone new winning at the WBA, and it's not because we're trying to make sure that everybody wins, but we're just trying to make sure that everybody that knows that they have a good, correct dog, bring it to the WBA. You're going to be appreciated here because you're a person that's bringing dogs that fit the standard, and you at least care for the standard, and that's important for the preservation of our breed. We want to make sure that the people that come to our shows are, they're exposed to a free handling class. We can help mentor, we can help talk to them. We're very easy and approachable. And, you give that type of customer service, that type of love, and it comes right back to you, because the WBA is growing at a fast pace in the United States, and it's because people have come to our show and have shown support and love, and it's going to continue because our main goal is the promotion and preservation of the American bully, and the job and the Oscar Gomez does and doing everything he does. It's all for the breed. I know people think the registry makes all kinds of money, and that's not true. The shows are hard to put on, and not a lot of
Mhm.
money is made. So kudos to all the promoters and all the people that make shows, because it's a lot of work and a lot of stress, and there is some money to be made. Obviously, you got to turn a profit, but the main thing is that you're putting on great shows for the people, and they have a great experience, and they're going to keep coming to you. And and I'm proud to say that we're doing that in California, and it's starting to show because our shows keep getting bigger and bigger, and we're starting to have more and more in different countries. And we're going. We'd like to go to the islands pretty soon. Hopefully, they start legalizing the American bully there, so we can go have a show over there with you guys, and
Oh
and
yeah.
and help spread the love and education of this wonderful breed that we all love so much.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you so much for everything. Listen, we definitely support the WBA over here. Um, I always appreciate a registry that is putting the preservation of the dog and the health of the dog first. So we appreciate you and the WBA, Mr. George Luna, coming on and having speak with us tonight and share your information, your knowledge, and just about who you are and your kennel. We appreciate that. So,
Well, I
um,
thank you for the time you're giving us here on this platform to help talk about a breed. And like I said, my job here, I'm an older man already. I handle, I breed, I judge, I help mentor. But what I want to do right now is just whatever knowledge I have, pass it on to the people that are, with us, and the younger people, so that this continues. And I hope that other registrars see that, and they start accepting. encouraging their people to go to other registries because we gotta help and support the registries that are doing the right thing for the breed. You know, we in the
Hmm.
WBA, like I said, it's a preservation, it's a promotion of this breed, and we keep it honest and as pure as we can. And you know, it's because of the people, it's because of the staff that we have, and it just and the leadership that Oscar Gomez gives you, you know, and he gives me a lot of room. He gives me a lot of liberty to hire and be selective with the judges that we hire. You know he sends me a lot of people that ask him, and they go through me. And then unfortunately, we don't hire a lot of these people. Like I said, I'm trying to get people here that have over 20 breeds under the belt that have been worldwide, or it doesn't have to be all over the world, but that have judged in different places, that have judged different breeds, and and for registries that uphold integrity and honesty, like they do in the FCI, like they do in the AKC and the UKC. And I know there's a lot of our colleagues in the ABKC that are good judges as well, but every registry has to encourage their judges to work elsewhere, because the more dogs we come into contact with, the more we're going to learn as judges. And we're also going to reach more people and help educate more people. So our judges are encouraged to work for anybody. If they judge for me today, they can judge for the ABC tomorrow and the WB the day after, and then they can go to the USB. We want them to help spread the love for the American Bully and whatever knowledge they have. We want them to pass it on to everybody else. So we hope that all the registries follow them that style, and it'll just make for a better community and for better education. And I think this breed will do very fine if we happen to do that.
Yeah, agreed, my brother. Agreed. Okay, so appreciate you coming on again. Like we said, that's all the time we have for today before we get kicked out of this meeting. But we appreciate you guys logging in. This is Lucayan Bulls TV. We will see you guys next week.